Back again with another Arbitrum ecosystem update. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice, and everything I say is my opinion, and my opinion alone. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. We have a tweet here by none other than Offchain Labs. Offchain says, our Stylus lead, Crypto is Cute, shares her thoughts on parallel EVMs, effectiveness on throughput, fees, and compute costs, and highlights how Arbitrum Stylus achieves increased transaction speeds and compute savings. So there was a kind of a little debate a little while ago on Twitter X, kind of going back and forth about are parallel EVMs kind of like the ZK of the EVM essentially, as in like the end state of where the EVM should be building towards. Like, should we have multiple execution environments instead of just one kind of a one-threaded execution environment? The argument here in this case, and I'm not going to go too deep into it because I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know all the nuances of this, but the argument here is that something like Arbitrum Stylus that pretty much accounts for or allows for much higher computational savings when deploying smart contracts is something that's a lot more efficient and it'll probably be used a lot more than an environment that does have a parallel EVM. You can read the entire article if you want to know more about that, but definitely worth a read if you are interested in that kind of narrative, the parallel EVM narrative, and all that other stuff. It's one of the things that I think is going to come up a lot, throughout 2024, 2025, as more chains start to kind of come out with it. I think Solana and I want to say Monad are the only ones that have that parallel kind of execution environment going on. Meanwhile, obviously, Arbitrum will be the Arbitrum chains, I should say, will be the only ones with the potential to have Stylus on it. So definitely worth looking into if it's of interest. Next, we have a tweet here from the block. The block says, "Look, the Arbitrum building blocks at the University of Batangas was outstanding. The students and faculties were committed in learning the opportunities the Arbitrum protocol could bring." And I'll stop it there just because it's a long tweet. This is essentially just a post from the block, which is a group out in the Philippines. Pretty much just showing off all the students and all the kind of people interested in obviously developing in crypto and more particularly building with Arbitrum. It's kind of cool to see how do you say it? It's cool to see people caring about Arbitrum in different regions of the world. I think we all have, at least me personally, I have kind of the North American mindset where anything beyond New York, Connecticut, and Jersey, I just it's a blank. It's just it's a whole big nothing to me. No, not actually, because my fiance is Albanian, so I have to know that part of the world too. But it feels good to kind of know that there is similar-minded people you have similar interest with people that may not even be they may be halfway across the world to you, right? And in this case, it's Arbitrum. So I thought it was a pretty cool post. Gave it a little retweet over here, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing more kind of pretty much, I want to say, cross-continent Arbitrum content on X and YouTube and any other platform that they use. But yeah, shout outs to the block for that post. We have a post here by Alex Salnikov. This is the co-founder at Rarible, of course. Alex says they had the first open edition on RARI chain quietly make 118 ETH to the artist. That is insane. I think that's about, I want to say that's actually probably close to 300K. It's definitely at least $250,000, which is insane for an open edition. I'm wondering, I should have brought up the screen. I'm not going to try to find it right now. But this is what I was saying the other day when I meant that, having multiple chains does not solve the problem of there's not enough space or not enough block space, right? It solves the problem of different audiences not being hit. And it's I'll keep on saying it because I think that I probably can't say it enough, that there are so many different audiences that can potentially leverage, that can be leveraged to use these different blockchains or these different orbit chains that end up launching, that, will there ever be a limit of how many orbit chains launch? Probably not. And I don't think there really needs to be, right? There's an infinite amount of audiences that you can target as someone who's creating a product. So, I think teams that do the best, or teams that end up having orbit chains that do the best, they're going to have like an exact picture in their mind of who their audience is and what they should be selling to that audience. In this case, Rarible obviously has a whole slew of artists and creators ready to start, deploying their art from day one, it seems. So shout outs to them, and shout outs to the artists that made that much money. I think that might have been Ed Balloon, I want to say. I think he's actually a famous artist within crypto already. But nonetheless, I love to see stuff like this. It's really cool to see people being able to pretty much this industry, the art industry generally speaking, right? Like it used to be this thing where I feel like it was really, really hard to make money off of, like really keep as much money as you made whenever you did make money. But I feel like crypto really, really did revolutionize that. But NFTs in particular, right? Arguable, in terms of if people like it or not. Like a lot of artists actually don't like it because they feel like people steal their work and turn it into an NFT and whatnot. But that's a whole different conversation. I'm not going to get into that. But nonetheless, it's good to see the ones that have leveraged crypto, that it's benefited them. So shout outs to Rarible for that. And of course, we'll end it off as usual. We have a community-focused show dedicated to showcasing entrepreneurs in Web3 and telling their stories. I co-host it, or I should say I do host it. And it's on YouTube, X, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Wherever you watch your podcast, you'll be able to find it. But definitely recommend you give it a look if you're interested in a crypto-based podcast or show. And if you like to hear me talk. I talk a little bit. I try not to talk too much. I want to make sure the guests really gets their thoughts out before I do. But yeah, that being said, that'll be it for today, guys. As usual, appreciate you guys for watching, and safe degenning out there. All right, guys? Have a good one.